What is going on, guys? Today we are looking at mid R9. So he's a 7.2 million player on the Xbox, 12.2 on the PS, and 12.5 on the PC. And as we know from pretty much every year, he is incredible. He's what everybody wants to pack. He's what everybody wants to get. Obviously, yes, you do have your strikers, your Mbappes, your Messis, your Ronaldos, even your Nenes when it comes to team of the season. But R9 is fantastic throughout, and I think he's not necessarily the only one, but I'd say he's in the top 2% that pretty much most versions are incredible, especially the mid prime and moments. They last the whole game. If I pack the mid right now, I'd still be playing with him till the end, or at least until we got his prime or moments later on in the game, if we do. Last year was the first year out of, I think, 3 years where we didn't actually pack him. But pretty disappointing, to be honest, because the first year, obviously, in FIFA 18 was SBC. Then FIFA 19, obviously, we managed to get him in an icon pack, which I think it was just his prime. We got his moments in 20 with again a moments SBC, and then last year, unfortunately, even with the amount of packs we opened, unfortunately we just couldn't get him. But this year we are looking at it again. Obviously mid we have never packed before. We've played with it a few times. He is very, very expensive, and to be honest, normally, especially at this point in the game, he's almost impossible to get. There's very few on the market, especially PS, and I think that's helped necessarily the Xbox market in terms of no qualifiers for Xbox. It is strictly just PS, so it is going to be a little bit harder, and that is why there is an extra 5 mil on top of him. So it is quite nice to have that freedom if you had the coins, but obviously there's only, again, a select amount of people that even make 7 mil in terms of the whole year. It's not an easy thing to do. If you don't trade, if you don't pack anything good, you are kind of stuck in that cycle of you've got your Mbappe, because 1 million coins is still a kind of acceptable to get. I think you can get that pretty easily, but then to put that into 7, even if it doesn't sound a lot, as in if you've got 1 mil and then you're like, well, just do it 7 times, still a little bit more difficult than that. But we are here to try him out, and I already know he's going to be fantastic. He's a 5-star. He's Brazilian. I always love my Brazilian icons, as you well know. They are a kind of feature on this channel. I absolutely love any Brazilian icon, no matter who they are. Ronaldo, Socrates, seen as the lower two, still love them. You've then got Garrincha, Ronaldinho. You've got Carlos Alberto, Cafu, who I definitely need to get this year, and then also my man, Roberto Carlos. But R9 is just something special. Everybody... apologize, don't dislike the video. Pele, of course. How have I missed Pele out of all of them names? How on earth Pele was not there? And obviously Kaká as well. I didn't forget about him. But in terms of R9, he has got the finesse shot, and that is it in terms of traits, which is just mad to think that a 7 mil player only has finesse shot. But to be honest, that's all he needs. It isn't necessarily even like his stats are very, very impressive, but it isn't necessarily even the stats that make this card incredible. It's just genuinely his animations. Everything works so well for him. He's got the perfect everything, and that is what makes him this sort of striker. Plus then, obviously, the fact that he is very, very hard to pack. You just naturally fall to this card as one of the best. You've got the likes of Hullet, Cruyff, Eusebio, all kind of going with him as well. Obviously there is more, but we're not going to name all of them. But there is these top tier icons that are like 3 to 4 mil plus that you've just got chilling at the top, and they are so hard to get, but they are all endgame players from the moment they get released. So let's not waffle on anymore. Let's see what R9 can do and hopefully get some bangers with him. Plus, obviously, the iconic haircut. First time on the ball. Oh, he doesn't manage to get there. I think I pressed B and then A to cancel it after I saw the keeper coming out. Should have probably chipped him, but definitely already a nice start knowing that he's getting through. We find him here. We're just going to try and blitz everybody, and Soyuncu's going to come across very nicely to stop that one. And it's kind of, with R9, it is almost inevitable. You can literally just keep doing every single same run, and eventually he will get it. No matter how good you are, eventually R9 will score from just the most ridiculous angles that you'll find. Also as well, passing... Okay, that was a bit weird. Passing as well is a bit weird as well with him. He's just... he's just genuinely good at everything, and I think that is obviously the complete striker that you get from him, which is always nice. We are going to try and put him in here. So yes, obviously you have got other strikers around him. I personally wouldn't necessarily put 7.2 million unless my team was at least at a good standard. Like if I had an Mbappe, if I had maybe a Ginola or a Messi as well, then you know that you are doing relatively well, rather than just getting him and having almost like a B side, unless maybe you are looking to get him and then improve your squad. That obviously is always a big factor with him. He can obviously help a lot. He is that sort of striker because he costs 7.2 mil. We see him brushing off the opponent there. It's a great save from Ederson, though, coming across on his left foot, but he does have the 5-star weak foot, so that's always something to consider because he can pretty much shoot from either foot anywhere, and you've got a good shot of it kind of not necessarily always going in, but at least testing the keeper. Right foot across goal, and R9. That's all I've got to say. Absolutely incredible. I feel like a lot of people will buy him as well, just purely based on the hair. Obviously, we do want his prime and his moments as much as anybody, but if it kind of came to it, I really wouldn't care either way. And he's kind of one of the ones that in the top sort of tier that his base obviously is still coming in at 2 mil, which is still a very, very high price for an icon. But I think you've kind of got a big level jump from his kind of base to his mid. His mid is just incredible, same as his prime and his moments. Whereas I think his base is still fantastic, but I do think there is a lot more flaws in it than there is obviously his mid. We can see him trying to make that run through. Oh, and he's just going to foul me. You could see that run was coming. The one thing I always talk about as well with these sorts of big-time strikers is the fact that even if they're kind of off the ball, or maybe you search for an option, say for instance, I've got Cavani here, you know in his head he's looking at R9, and it almost gives you that little bit extra time because you know that that's the player that you want to go to. Personally, it works with Mbappe, works with Messi, with Ronaldo, especially at the start of the game, purely for the fact that you know that almost you as well are looking at that player because you know he's the one to make the impact. R9 especially is going to be one. We saw it with mid-Hullet, is that everybody's always looking at that card purely for the fact that you know he's the game changer. He can score from wherever, he can score whatever he wants, and that's it with him. Good tackle. So it is a nice thing as well to have that sort of player to maybe give yourself that little bit extra bit of time when coming on the ball. I think he might be offside at that point, but we will keep going until... No, he wasn't offside. Definitely should have continued until the whistle. And again, he's going to find R9 in here. Drills it across the box, and Cavani is just going to be a hair away from the ball. He's going to lay in a bit of Cavani. He's looking for that ulterior run there. Comes across. He knows we're going to go for that fake. Doubles down. Goes for the finesse, and Soyuncu is going to be there. Oh, we went for the volley. Find him back, and Sun Tzu is again going to be on top of R9, doing very, very nice to quell the danger from him. I think a good tip as well when using these sorts of big name players is not necessarily good block from Cornet. It's not necessarily going all out with them every single time, and it's a big mistake when it comes to reviews as well, and I think it's one that I'm 100% guilty of, is constantly looking, oh, where's R9? Okay, what can we do from here? And it's almost like nothing. We can't, because you're trying to go through 5-6 players at a time, and that at the same time will always kind of hinder a review as well, because you are not playing him in a natural position, and you know that you are just constantly going for him and not even attempting anything else. Like this, as random as that is, how that's even gone in, it's not necessarily all about that one player, how he plays on his own. It's how he plays as a team, and that is a vital thing that I think I'm personally realizing with especially these big-time review players. And it's not necessarily anybody's fault in terms of that is naturally how it happens. If you've got Neymar, you want to try and skill the whole team. You want to see what his kind of level is. Can he do it? Or is that based on the player, really? Get a ball in. This keeper's going to get that. Is that based on the player? Because, yes, we know that pretty much most players, if you've got a 5-star skiller, if you are... I'm trying to think of like the best skiller on FIFA. I personally don't know. So if you do know, let me know down below. As we're going to try and find R9 in here. Does manage to stop. Goes with a right foot, and Ederson with a great save. But in terms of kind of them skillers, is they could do it with most people. If you are that good at skilling people, doesn't matter who you're going to play, you are going to be able to do it. And that doesn't necessarily mean just because it's R9 he can do it. It can be Vinicius, it could be Rodrigo, it could be what was it, Tarap back in the day. They are naturally skillful players, whereas R9 is great for the kind of average player as well as the top rated player because he can carry. Going to have a fantastic test this game, as this guy does have a Maldini. Again, one of the best centre-backs in the game. We packed him last year, so I'm expecting some big things from R9 and also some big tackles from your Maldini as well. R9 putting up with Tyranny. Oh, that's a poor little burst of speed there. We know that weren't going to work, so we definitely need to increase that. R9 presses through. He's got Maldini on him. Oh, that's a great bit of defending, and Maldini is something special. Genuinely not really. I think I played a few matches with him in FIFA 18, I want to say. That was like the first time that I've used him, and then obviously we've managed to pack him last year in the 81x7 for Eredivisie SBC. So incredible reward back from that, and he is just a stupid centre-back. He really just has everything. Oh, going off the little slap shot past Maldini, who is having an impeccable game. R9 through in. Gonna go past the keeper, and that's it. Literally being dominated that entire moment. Literally for the past 30 minutes. And R9 comes out of nowhere, gets his good shot in there. Cross goal. Keeper's not going to have any chance again. Big ball in. Maldini's going to see that clear. Unfortunately, Dembele is just not gonna have any hope against Maldini in this one. So we're gonna kind of keep it clear over to our nice side and really try and work Diop as much as possible. Potentially then swap at half time, just because we know Maldini can go the whole game really. R9 drills one in. Probably not the greatest of options. Gonna find him here. Can he get a toe onto it? No, Ederson is gonna deny that opportunity. So going into the overall for R9, honestly, you can't get much better. And I am interested in how many times has he sold. So, to be honest, more than I thought. We've got a lot of 7.3s, 7.5s as we go through, and obviously these are in kind of like hours more than anything. We've seen, as you can see, it goes up a little bit as we go further back. So he has actually sold a lot more than I thought he would have done. Obviously, a lot of people, you can imagine, don't necessarily have that amount of coins, and wow, you can see the activity obviously here. 11.8, you're looking at a very big price. That's a nice one right there. What else have we got? 11.8. I'm just trying to see if there's any like 13 or 14 mils. Looks like he's kind of been 12. Obviously, if we went to the very start of the game, maybe you might see a kind of 13, 14 miller right there. Obviously, he is fantastic. He will kind of jump up and down in price. It looks like Xbox is relatively stable at the moment. Icon swaps may change that, but we know we're not going to get a mid R9 in that. And in terms of kind of like his base, it is a funny one because he is necessarily only 4 ratings higher. I know in the 90s that is everything, but in terms of the stats, it's just really the physicality that's the massive difference. And obviously the 4-star, I think that poses the biggest threat, but we will try and kind of get him out as well. 2 mil, we have got them coins, so we will probably try and get R9 out at some point in terms of his base. And then obviously his prime it's his prime. We've had that card twice, and he is just next level. I'd say he is kind of up there as the best sort of striker you can get. Obviously, Mbappe holds a great title for the best gold striker, I would suggest, this year. But then even in icons, you've got people who are very, very close to R9. You've got the likes of Eusebio. We've packed him once, and he is just unreal as well. You've got the likes of Cruyff, who personally I have not really used a heavy amount of. We have used his loans more than anything, but we haven't really used kind of him loads. Pele is definitely another one up there at the moment. I think last year and this year has been very, very good for him. And I think Eto'o as well. Eto'o's another one that I think he may not be the most all-round like R9, but definitely up there in terms of strikers for icons. And I think in general with R9, you are looking at something. Is he going for for an engine? Yeah, we've got the 96 already. Obviously gives him that agility balance boost, as well as his dribbling. You've got vision and crossing, and all of his passing going up a little bit more as well. Turns him into a 94 CF or 93 striker. Obviously, if you just wanted to max out striking ability, you'd just go with a finisher, or you'd go with something like a Hawk to get a bit more physicality. That would turn him actually into a 95 rated striker, which I think, as you'll see down here, there is only 25 votes, so always take it with a pinch of salt. Kind of see what you want him for, and I would, if you're spending 7.2 mil, I'm sure you can try out a multiple amount of chemistry styles. Personally, is he worth the coins? I would say yes. In terms of, could you get better spread over a team? Of course you could. You could get a whole team for 7.2 mil, and a very, very good team for that. But if you have got the very good base, and then you're looking at that next tier icon, obviously R9 is going to be one of the best ones you can buy. It's just natural, and he's always going to be a 10 out of 10 every single year. He is just incredible. Everybody wants him, and there is a reason for that. And he just scores a lot of goals for you. He creates chances from wherever, and I think that is another thing that the top level kind of cards, your Messis, your Neymars, your Mbappes, your Ronaldos, even the likes of obviously Ginola now, some new hero cards, they make something out of nothing. I've had a playoff match, I think it was to go 8-0, 120th minute. We're down by a little bit of kind of possession more than anything. It's 3-3, 120 minutes. Messi's been running all game. He creates literally something out of nothing and gets me the win. That is what these cards will do for you, and that's where the price tag really comes in. They just can just turn up at the most random times and will do it. So hopefully you did enjoy R9's review. Let me know down below who else you'd like to see. Like and subscribe on this video. I'll see you all for the next one. Peace.